The tense but mostly peaceful protests in Hong Kong got violent again today. The students who are leading the pro-democracy movement had agreed to talks with the government. But the arrival of some new combative pro-Beijing protesters provoked the cancellation of those talks. Chris Brown is in Hong Kong. Chris?
It's now Saturday here, Wendy, and a week in Hong Kong's student revolution appears to have hit a crossroads.
With many businesses blocked from opening and commercial activities curtailed, the tension boiled over Friday with ugly scenes in the city's Mong Kok shopping district. Student protesters came under attack, not by police, but by a mob.
People who are pro-government try to hurt other people, fight with others.
There's no question the protests are trying the patience of many here, but the strong suspicion among the students is that today's violence was whipped up by China's Communist Party.
Some people have been paid by, apparently they've been paid by mainlanders, and then they've been trying to cause trouble around here, and they're trying to take away the barricades.
Elsewhere, in Hong Kong's main business district, the number of protesters was noticeably smaller Friday. That could suggest Beijing's apparent tactic of simply trying to wait out the exhausted students is working. The city's embattled chief executive, Leung Chun-ying, again reiterated police will not use more force to end the standoff, but he said the anarchy cannot continue. Earlier, the student movement appeared to actually make some incremental gains in that Leung said his deputy would hold talks with student leaders, but then the chaos erupted, and it's now unclear if those talks will happen.
The students want real democracy here, not elections that involve Beijing picking the candidates. But it's also clear it's not just China's Communist Party that wants this protest over. It's disrupting all aspects of life here in Hong Kong. So the question is, how long will the students have the stamina to keep it up? Wendy.
Thanks, Chris. The CBC's Chris Brown in Hong Kong.
For the first time in 7 days, pro-democracy protesters in Hong Kong faced off against rival protesters. Hired thugs, they believe, sent by the government to come after them. It transformed the otherwise peaceful demonstration into a tense, dangerous confrontation. CTV's Asia Bureau Chief Janice Mackey-Frere has the latest from Hong Kong.
As the crowd swelled, the mood shifted and slipped to violence. A showdown pitting pro-democracy groups against packs of government supporters and people fed up with the Occupy protests.
It's not like we're doing anything to them. We're just asking, maybe it's time you can leave. So that, it's not like your voice is not heard.
It started to unravel here when pro-Beijing mobs tore down student signs in tents. Other protest sites were hit too. The consensus, they were hired thugs paid to stir trouble. And the tactic worked. The polite and festive atmosphere of protests all week digressed to shoving matches and hurling insults. Police were outnumbered. There were few arrests, but several accusations that they did nothing to stop the chaos. People taunted and yelled at each other to go home or go back to the mainland.
There are opposing camps of protesters here, roughly the pro-democracy movement on this side, facing off against those who want the protest to end. The police are in the middle.
Student leaders called off talks with the Hong Kong government that were hailed as a breakthrough just a day ago. They see this as sponsored violence, Beijing's way of slapping them down. And a new commentary in state media warned the mayhem caused by protesters here could lead to deaths and injuries and other grave consequences. Janice Mackey-Frere, CTV News, Hong Kong.